So, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of the Worldwide Gooner Elite podcast. Hopefully, you're all doing okay. We're back again for your Monday. It's Bank Holiday Monday over here in the UK as well. So, some of you are probably off work. So, hopefully, you're making the most of that. We've got some great, topics of conversation today, including the Community Shield that took place on Saturday against Liverpool. So, first of all, joining me, as always, is the lovely Giggsy. So, how are you doing?
Doing okay. And you?
Yeah, I'm all right, yeah. Doing all right. A lot happier with Arsenal, than probably a couple of years back now, because they've started to know what winning feels like. It feels good. It feels good.
No, they're doing good. They have a lot to fight for now, and they have that motivation. So.
Absolutely right. And, before we get into the lineups and everything like that and a little bit of information regarding the game, it's Mikel Arteta Day today as well, because he joined the club on this day in 2011 as a player. So, it's the official Mikel Arteta Day. He's definitely the best looking Spaniard that I know. What about you?
I don't know many Spaniards, but, he's all right. He's all right.
Might be a bit harsh on Hector Bellerin and Danny Ceballos, but Danny don't play for us anymore, so that's okay.
I had to choose. I think I would go with Hector Bellerin.
Only because he's like such a fashion icon and a model. Sometimes it's better off doing that than he is playing. But anyway, that's a story for another day. But moving on to the lineup for the game against Liverpool, we had Emi Martinez between the sticks again. But Leno was only on the substitutes bench. There was quite a lot of interesting, selections in this lineup, including, the fact that Pepe and Willian and Lacazette weren't even there at all, because some of them, I know Pepe and Lacazette were quarantined, and I think Willian possibly was the same as well. So, we were still missing three really crucial front players there.
Yeah, we were missing people, and it's true. They were in isolation, and it's not due to their lack of skill or lack of motivation. It's due to this stupid virus, but...
Yeah, absolutely that. Hi to Tom as well. He's just put a comment in the chat saying, well-deserved win, better team on the day, wanted it more than Liverpool. Couldn't agree more, mate, to be honest. I think we were the much better side, and I think it shone through in the end. I think we were unlucky not to win it in normal time without it going to penalties. So, I think that's very much my thoughts on that. And Liverpool were a little bit fortunate to be able to take it to penalties, especially because, yes, that man that still hasn't signed the contract yet, he still needs to sign this contract. He scored again. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang scored again to score every single goal that Arsenal have scored at Wembley in the FA Cup semi-final, the final, and now the Community Shield as well. Why isn't he done yet? Why isn't this deal signed?
Because they're playing mind games. They want us to want it so much and just beg for it that when they do announce it, it's going to be like the biggest thing ever.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. But, we have to tie him down. The fact that he was so crucial all through the season, not just in the last few games and, the start of this campaign as well with the Community Shield now, he was up there fighting for the Golden Boot again, as he was last season. We have to tie him down. We have to get this deal done. And we have to... I'll say what I said before. You have to give him what he wants, and then some if you need to, because you just can't afford to let a player like Pierre leave, especially on the cheap. So no way is he joining Barcelona for a swap for Messi. I'd love to see Messi wear an Arsenal shirt. I'll tell you that much, but no, there's no way, especially because Messi's clause has been. Barcelona have said that his clause is still in place as well, so they have to pay a fee of something like 635 million or whatever it was if anyone wants to get him. So yeah.
Oh wow.
Russ has put a comment in there as well. Deserved the victory and should have won 1-0 in the 90 minutes. Minamino 100% handballed the ball for the goal and it should have been ruled out. I think, it was one of the Arsenal players that handballed it. I can't remember which one it was, but I don't think it hit Minamino's hand. I think it was one of the defenders. And that was before the ball had even, been put into the back of the net anyway. So it would have probably been pulled back for a penalty kick. But because they scored, it didn't really matter.
I think it actually came off of a Liverpool's chest, not arm. It was like in a complicated area. That's what I think is that I think because our players were defending the box really, really well. I think they got confused with that one moment, and it's human error. They're like, oh, it touched his arm, that ruled out. Regardless, that's something they need to work on. Regardless, defend it. Even if you think, oh, handball, defend it. Because they turned off when they were like, oh, that's a handball.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And if you look
if they would have kept going,
our defense do that too much.
Yeah, if they would have just kept going regardless, they would have, because they were doing great. They were defending the box so well. And that's something that Arsenal has not been told in a long time.
Well, you can say that, but then actually towards the end of the last season, it was very much the same. The games against Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City as well, were all games where we were under a lot of pressure and we actually defended them a lot better. And, even the game at the weekend as well, a lot of people had Liverpool as favourites because they'd won the title and, won it quite convincingly in the end as well. But yet again, we surprised people and we did what Arsenal did. We, sort of went about our business and got the job done. And we're doing that quite a lot more lately. And the professionalism of these players, it's really starting to shine through now.
No, definitely. You can definitely see there's more fight, there's more camaraderie and all that, and it's all due to, Arteta. So
that's right, 100%. And so the Aubameyang goal, obviously, was a lovely finish as well from Aubameyang, set up by Saka. And, that's another one that was a little bit of a surprise to start. I'll run you through the exact lineup as well. We had Martinez in goal. Then we had a back four of Bellerin, who was playing right back. Tierney at left back as well. Centre backs, we had no Saliba. Saliba didn't feature, which was a little bit of a strange one. Who else was in there? Let's have a look what else the lineup was. Yeah, so we had Rob Holding as well, David Luiz, and then we had was it a midfield four? Or was Tierney playing more centre back? I can't really remember. With Maitland-Niles, was he more on the left back position, or was he more in midfield? I'm trying to think.
I think he was more left back.
Yeah, so I think Tierney was playing as the centre back, the third centre back then, and it was more sort of a 3-5-2 sort of wing back formation. El Neni was the surprise inclusion. He's done quite well actually in the game against Milton Keynes, and obviously Torreira's out injured, and we're still not too sure what's happening with Ceballos and stuff as well. And he done really, really well. He was definitely, using his experience, and that shone through. And he worked well with Xhaka. I thought the partnership was actually not too bad.
I think he had more to prove than anyone else because he's been on loan. He was kind of having an Emi Martinez moment. Like, I'm back. I want to show that I want to stay here. So he had more to prove. And he did well.
I think he did really, really well. Saka as well. Eddie Nketiah leading the line. Excuse me. It was really, really, strong performer as well. Could have had a couple of goals. Probably should have had a couple of goals, in fact, with the efforts that he had.
No, they did really, really good. They, Liverpool are the champions. No one's going to take that away from them. They're amazing players. But the fact that our youngins are finding ways to break through their line, because that's what the commentators kept saying, that they play with like a front line. Our players got through them. And that shows how much work we're doing, that we're improving so much. And it's not coming from an older player. They're coming from the younger players. And I think that is going to be a big surprise for the league coming up.
I think you're probably right as well. I think that, a lot of these guys are, very young players, quite inexperienced players as well. Eddie Nketiah, Saka, Rob Holding, Martinez, Saliba, Nelson, Willocks, even the ones that didn't get on, Smith Rowe, Oli Inca, John Jules, they're all very young players, and a lot of those had to be involved in the squad. Maitland-Niles was another one, prime example as well. The performance of him was outstanding, absolutely amazing, for celebrating his birthday as well. And he deserved the man of the match. He deserved his call up to the England squad as well. And I really hope this guy stays. But with the players we had out injured as well and unavailable, to bring those young guys in, it just shows the kind of weakness that we've got in the squad when we're lacking these players. When we have to bring in some of these young guys just to sit on the bench, and we haven't got somebody on there to change the game. But then at the same time, we've still managed to get a result. Even in normal time, we managed to get a draw against this Liverpool side, and it's virtually their strongest team by one or two players.
Mm-hmm. And I think if you think about it really good, it's not taking away the skill from the seasoned players. Yeah. It's kind of like, if you think about it, and I'm trying to think about it in Arteta's way.
Mm-hmm.
When you go against another team, they're not exactly going to be like, oh, I'm going to be watching this person. No, they're going to overrate them because they're going to be focusing on Aubameyang. They're going to be focusing on Lacazette, on Pepe. Yeah. So they're going to be watching them. They're not going to be watching closely these youngins that they're like, oh, that's a pipsqueak. So that's where they're going to train them up and they're going to surprise them. And it's just like, boom. Like Eddie and Saka came so close to scoring against Liverpool. Like so close. And, it's just going to build and they're going to have more opportunities.
Absolutely. And those young guys are very, very talented players. Maitland-Niles, I mentioned him there, but how good was Maitland-Niles to put on that kind of a show on his birthday? And he's under pressure as well, been thrown into the team there, not even sure if he's going to be staying, what his future at the club's going to hold yet. And he goes out there and performs. That's what I was saying just a minute ago. We have to keep this guy. He is, Martinez as well, another solid performance and made some really good saves in there. And another player that we have to keep. These guys are really good competition for the likes of Tierney, the likes of Bernd Leno as well.
No, it's very true. I also heard something along the lines that Arteta said about Ainsley Maitland-Niles is that, what was it? That he needs for him to prove himself every single match, not just once a month. And I think that's why he didn't play as much. He was only showing his potential like once a month. And he doesn't want to see that. He wants to see you fight for it every single time. And I guess that literally got in his head. And he has been.
And again, if you look at that side, there's still no Ozil. He's still not anywhere near there. Still no Guendouzi either. Those two guys, I'm not too sure whether they were just completely out of the reckoning still, or I'm not too sure because, according to what I've read and what I listened to in Arteta's interview, he seems to say that everyone had a clean slate now. So, once you've got those experienced players, why don't you at least put them on the bench and give them a point to go out? Sorry, make them go out there and prove a point. Sorry.
No, I get you. I understand that completely. But he's the type of person, if you work for it and you show me you're working for it, I'm going to give you that opportunity. And if they're not showing him, he's not. So they have to earn that right. They can't just expect it because, I'm Mesut Ozil, I get paid so much. Or, I'm Matteo Guendouzi. No, you need to earn it. You need to earn that spot.
I think that's right. And I think there's a lot of players that are going to be moved on as well in this window. One of them's already gone. A young guy, Sam Greenwood's gone on to Leeds. He's now moved to Leeds United there. And Socrates looks like he's going to be leaving. Rob Holding, again, a surprise inclusion in this game on the back of what happened in the friendly with the own goal, but also on the fact he might be moving on loan to Newcastle. So that was a bit of a strange one.
I feel like all these players had something to prove.
Yeah,
They do.
I think that's right. And I think that's why, they put on this kind of performance. And if you look at the guys that come on as well, Nelson, another young player, Willock, a young player, Kolasinac and Cedric as well are players that, are not really good enough to play for Arsenal at the end of the day. I like Cedric. I think he's actually not too bad a defender. And his penalty was good as well when it comes onto the penalty shootout. I'll talk about them in a minute because that was a lovely penalty, as all of them were. And Kolasinac, everyone's a little bit unsure about Kolasinac, and I think he could be one of the ones that does move on. And Cedric getting such a long contract as well. I know he was only on loan before, but the club have kind of just gone all out and they've tied him down for, 5-year contract, which is quite a long time.
I feel like they see potential in him, and he proved that when he first entered and he scored within what was it, 5 minutes? He has that potential.
The first game he played against Norwich. Yeah.
They have this potential, and you know what?
Yeah.
Arteta sees this, and he's very, very smart. He sees the potential and he builds on it. Like, look what he did with Xhaka. That guy did a whole 360, and he is so much better now.
Yeah, and he's got, he's a strong candidate as well for most improved player of last season because, a lot of fans didn't see him having a future. A lot of players probably thought he wouldn't have much of a future with the club either when he was stripped of the captaincy, and everything like that. And I think he's turned around really, really well, and he's now leading by example. He's now doing the things that he should have done when he was captain.
No, definitely. And I think it's just, you get to a point that you just don't believe in yourself. And I think Xhaka got to that. So when he was stripped, that was kind of like the final straw. So at that point, he was done. And no one was building him up. No one was helping him realize his potential. And that's when Arteta came in. And literally, you see the changes every single game. You see that his light is back on. And that's what we need from all our players. And that's what Arteta is doing with every single player. He's bringing that light out of them.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think with Granit Xhaka, the fact that Granit Xhaka has played he plays centre mid, which is the exact same position that Mikel played himself when he was at the club. I think he's had a word with him and he's advising him a lot more than he would on other players, left back, right back, because he knows what the midfield have to do in that position.
And that goes back to what I said the last podcast was it's different when your manager was also a player for the same team.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's plenty of managers that have played, football before, but it's different when you were a captain of that team as a player and now you're a manager of that player. There's more respect there because he's been in their shoes, exactly their shoes.
Yeah, especially with Xhaka as well, as I was saying there, because he plays centre mid, and I think that Arteta has really helped him along the way, and he's really turned him into a much, much better player now, and the kind of player that we need. And I'll say what I said at the end of last season when Xhaka had the incident against Crystal Palace. I thought he was done. I didn't want to see him wear an Arsenal shirt again, but he proved me wrong. So fair play, well done. I'll admit that I was wrong, mate. Well done. You managed to prove me wrong.
Well, it's just typical fan nature to kind of just write someone off. And this about me. I do not write anyone off. You will get in your moods and you're just like, oh, sell them, this and that. I'm like, no, they had a bad day. They'll get better. We got this.
But he had too many bad days for my liking, though. And throwing a strop off in the way that he did with the fans, that was the end of the straw, the final straw, sorry, and in the end of the line at that point. But
you have to see it from his side. He was already in a bad place. He was already given up. And then when you're given up, and then that happens, and then the people that they're supposed to be supporting you are booing you. I don't agree with what he did. but he was already in the lowest space you could possibly be.
Mm-hmm. I have to agree with that as well, to be honest. I think, the guy was in a real low. The guy was really struggling. And that's it, really. When your own fans are getting on your back, that kind of says something. And obviously he's going to react. And, I don't think he should have reacted in the way that he did.
But when you're in an emotional state,
it happens. Yeah,
anything happens. You're human. And, you can tell he regretted what he did. And
yeah, for sure.
And he paid for it.
That's right, by losing the captaincy, and then he managed to still manage to recover, and that takes a lot. That takes a big man, a big man to do that, a big person.
He proved himself. He really did. Because any other person could have been just like Mesut Ozil, just give up and just be like, so.
That's what he does, though. That's Mesut Ozil for you. Mesut Ozil's known to just be a very fair weather player. Just turns up when he wants, and that's probably about once a year. But in regards to the game itself, obviously we spoke about Aubameyang's goal briefly. He did take it really, really well. In fact, did Aubameyang. Yet again, another really good finish. And when you see that he's got a chance like that, he's always going to put them away. So straight away, I knew that was going to be in the back of the net.
I'm gonna admit, I was kind of shocked. Not that I was shocked that he did it. I was shocked at how far he was when he did it.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, whoa. Was he even in the box? I don't even think he was in the box. I think he was outside of the box.
I think he was out of the box. Yeah, outside, I think.
I was just like, yo. That was amazing. Like, I think I was drinking something and I dropped it. I was just like, did that just happen?
That's quite funny. That's, yeah. But no, I really love Aubameyang to pieces. I think when he's, on form and he scores goals like that, he's a really top player. He's the kind of player that we have to keep at this club. I've said it earlier and I'll keep saying it because of his goals. His goals are really a crucial part of this team. We have to keep him at all costs, and we're not going to be able to replace his goals. We might get somebody with a better work rate, maybe, because Lacazette does a lot of the work, and Saka does a lot of the work. Pepe does a lot of the work, and Aubameyang is usually the one that's just there to finish the chances. You might get somebody who works more for the team overall, but you won't get anyone that's a better striker than him, or a more clinical finisher than him. Anyway, that's for sure. It would take you a hell of a lot of money to be able to get that.
I actually think he's more than just the goal scorer that people seem to call him. He brings more than that. You can tell the team love him, and it's because he's there for the other players.
Yeah.
He is a true captain. He is there for them. Like, if he wasn't, when he scores, they wouldn't celebrate him as much, but they celebrate him because he celebrates other people.
Yeah, and he's happy to see, the likes of Eddie do well and Saka do well. He's got his own little nicknames for them, especially Saka as well. And he wants to see Eddie do well and compete with Eddie for the striker position and, have him there with Lacazette as well.
And you see him give him, when he has the opportunity, I've seen it, he will pass, especially when it comes to Lacazette, you see that he will give up his shot for him when he knows he needs it. He'll give up his shot for, Saka. And that is the true showing of a captain. You can do it, but you choose to let someone else do it.
Yeah, and you saw at the end of last season when he's going for that golden boot, Eddie's running through on goal and he squares it across to Aubameyang to try and get his next goal to push him. I think it would have been level when on with a golden boot then, so he still would have got a share of that.
Mm-hmm. That shows you how much they cherish him and how much of a great captain he is that, they would fight for him.
Mm-hmm. And that's right. They have to fight for him because he's the star man. He's the man that makes all the difference. There's so many games where, it's been 0-0 or 1-1 and he's come out and made a difference. Yes, there's been times where, I don't want to go too much into last season, but the Olympiacos Europa League game where he missed that chance right at the end after he'd already scored, which was probably easier to score than he would have normally. He wouldn't normally miss that. But I do think that even that, it didn't shut his confidence down for long. He was able to bounce back, and that's the sign of a really good player.
And he's under a lot of pressure because of the fact that everyone expects him to, score and stuff like that. So he's under so much pressure.
Yeah, that's right. And he's on, quite big wages as well already. And obviously the club really desperately wants to sign him. And that's pressure in itself as well, because, he loves the club. You can see that. But he's just interested and focused on getting the job done at hand for that one game.
Mm-hmm. He goes in on the mindset of the game. He's not thinking of everything everyone else is saying, everything that people are asking of him. He is focused on the game and his team.
Yeah, and that's huge. When you've got a player like Aubameyang who is under a lot of scrutiny to sign a new contract, the fact that he can still go out and perform every week and get goals and win your matches, that is a massive thing that you need to have in your team. The guy, he leads by example in everything that he does.
He does. He is and he's very sweet, because I absolutely adore him. And the fact that after he scored, he gave reference to the Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And he not only did it once, he did it after his penalty as well. And you saw him say Wakanda forever. That shows you not only is he good captain, not only is he a good player, he is a top man.
Oh, for
he
sure.
He's a great human being.
100%. And so you can see there, I'm just looking at a picture of when he scored after he curled the effort into the goal to make it 1-0. You can see the celebration there, and you can see you can see how much that means to him. And obviously he was a big Black Panther and Marvel fan, because he pulled out the celebration last year as well.
Mm-hmm.
With the mask that he wore. So anyway, let's move on a little bit to some of the other things that happened in the game. Liverpool were only missing a few players, Trent and Jordan Henderson, so they did have pretty much a strong side, and a side that many people thought would be able to beat Arsenal anyway. And they had opportunities as well. So I thought we defended really, really well. I thought with Martinez and Maitland-Niles, Tierney, David Luiz as well. They all put in a shift and kept that Liverpool side at bay, when they've got some really talented players in there that world-class players like Salah and Firmino and Mane, players that are Premier League winners, Champions League winners, some of them as well.
And that's what bugged me after the match is, I understand, Liverpool was favorited to win.
Yeah.
But Arsenal played better. And they fought. Sure. And I don't care that they didn't win in the 90 minutes. It was a draw. They still fought for it. And the fact that we're gonna go back to the game where they lost to Liverpool 5-1.
Mm-hmm.
From then to now, they have done so much better. And to take that away from them by saying, "Oh, certain their top players weren't there." No, they had players that were there that were good enough to win the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't fight harder, and Arsenal did. Do not take that away from them. They worked hard for that. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter that 2 people weren't there. Guess what? 2 people of ours weren't there.
More than that. Probably 5
exactly. or 6. A lot of ours weren't there. And we still fought harder with young people in our squad.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be salty all you want. We fought harder.
They can be salty all they want, because victory is sweet. I say that. But no, in regards to Liverpool's equaliser as well, that didn't come until the second half. Did you think by that point that Arsenal had done enough to hold on and win it in, the 90 minutes? Because, as I said before, the defence had played really, really well. The team had shown a lot of fight. had chances to, double the lead as well. And really, really, confident. I was personally that we would have got it done in the 90 minutes. It was a bit unfortunate that the goal came when it did because, we were actually not too far from getting the job done there. And it kind of looked a bit like the Liverpool game in the league. And I don't know. I just kind of saw it rolling out into a 1-0 Arsenal win, really, at that point. But then the substitute Minamino pops up and equalised.
I personally think in the second half, Liverpool woke up and were like, oh, snap. Arsenal actually came to play. Because that's a tendency when it comes to, like, people speak about Arsenal. They're like, oh, they're going to give up halfway, this and that. They're not going to do it. No, this is a different team. They have a fight and they're going to fight till the end. And in the second half, Liverpool woke up and they were like, okay, this is real. We got to do something. And you can see that we were still getting opportunities, but they were less than the first half.
Mm-hmm.
And it, like, for me, the second half is when it was on, because Arsenal pretty much ran the first half.
Oh, yeah. We should have been.
Second half, you saw the battle. You literally saw the battle between the teams. And I thought that was, to me, I loved it because now they considered us a challenge.
Yeah.
They weren't faking it anymore.
No. They showed us a lot of respect. When we've gone 1-0 up and in that second half, they've shown us a lot of respect there. That's the kind of thing that a lot of teams wouldn't normally do to Arsenal. A lot of those players normally would say, well, it's Arsenal. We'll go on and we'll get 4 or 5 today. That's, under Emery anyway. And even when it went to 1-1 as well, with Arteta, there's no signs that it's going to go to 2-3-4-1 because he's got them very well organised. He's got them, he can organise them really, really quick and really well. And, there's not that kind of thing in the team now where once they concede one goal, they'll automatically kind of capitulate and give away loads of goals and loads of chances. Yeah.
I actually think when that equalizer went in, we had the opposite reaction. Instead of just like, oh, damn, give up. They literally fought harder because at the end of that second half, Arsenal were getting, they were surrounding Liverpool's pitch. Yeah. And if they would have had maybe 2 more minutes, I think they would have scored because they were getting opportunities.
Yeah, we had chances. We had chances in the first half as well. Eddie Nketiah had chances. We actually looked really, really.
Oh my gosh, Willock had the most.
Yeah, Willock right at the very end when he had his wide of the post there. Yeah.
He had the most. Oh, that hurt me when I saw his face.
Especially because he'd come on off the bench as well, and he wanted to make an impact, and he looked all right. He looked quite lively, in fact. He really, changed that game a bit. And in fact, so did some of the other guys that came on as well. Cedric was, played a good part in it, as did Reece Nelson as well. Those guys, bringing on those fresh legs did help.
Because you could tell our players with how much they were fighting were getting worn. You would see Tierney on the ground, rubbing his legs. They were fighting. And you can't, that's what irritates me. You can't take that away from them. They were fighting. And then what annoyed me, don't take this trophy away from them and say it was BS. It's not. It means something. And the fact that they won it 16 times.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, for sure. People say it's a pre-season trophy and it's a trophy that doesn't really mean an awful lot. To me, I see it as it's a trophy, or a shield, I should say, that, is a little bit, is a little bit higher than a pre-season trophy, but it's not as high as the FA Cup. It's sort of in between. It's sort of you want to get used to winning. You want to get that winning mentality through, and you want to be able to get that performance in. We showed the performance. We we won the Shield as well. We actually got the reward for it at the end. And I think at the end of the day, you can look at it and you can say, yes, it might not be the biggest of trophies to win. Far from that. But, it's the mentality and the winning sort of formula that you need at the end of the day when you're going through a pre-season or a pre-start to a league campaign anyway as well.
I personally still think it's big. It might not be big in like stats and stuff like that, because I know none of the goals count for the Golden Boot. That's fine. But the fact is that this game is between the Champions League champions and the FA Cup champions.
The Premier League champions, yeah.
Is big. Yeah. And the fact that they won is even bigger.
Yeah, for sure.
And it says something about Arsenal that, going into this new season, watch out.
Yeah, I think would be a surprise. I think with the squad that we're getting together, there's a few rumours going around that Aubameyang might have even signed the new contract now. We've got Saliba in, we've got Willian in, we've got Gabriel coming in as well. We've got, a few other players that we're looking at. Hassan Mouar we're looking at bringing Danny Ceballos back maybe. And, there's still room for improvement, but we're in the market and we're quite active, which I like.
Definitely.
We're trying to get the moves done. We're trying to get the moves done early. So I like that. And it's the Premier League winners and the FA Cup winners. I know Liverpool won the Champions League before, but it was the Premier League. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Wrong name.
That's all right. But no, in regards to the penalties as well, how good were, not just one, but every single 5 of the penalties that we took. Reece Nelson, the substitute, taking the first one, showing confidence and showing that he was, composed and ready to go and to slot that away.
He actually asked for that.
Yeah, I know he asked for it. I saw it. Yeah.
He asked to be first because of the fact he didn't have an opportunity. He wanted the opportunity in a penalty shootout, and he was too young. And they said no, so he wanted this one, especially for that, to say, I want to go first. I want to do this.
Yeah, and
Arteta just said, yeah. He was like, okay.
Yeah, no, I ain't
gonna fight it.
Yeah, no, we just lost signal for a minute there with you, but I know what you were saying anyway, getting the gist of it. And yeah, Reece asked to take the first one. It was a bit different to the Liverpool substitution anyway, coming on with 92 minutes on the clock. And he was the only one that missed the penalty. And I think that was the only touch he had of the ball.
It was the only touch, and he missed it. That stung.
Hit the crossbar, didn't it? As well, it was
it wasn't. Emmy. It was the crossbar. He fought the crossbar and lost.
So who else took our penalties? I know Nelson scored here. He took one. Cedric took one and scored. Who else took one? Of the
David Luiz, which was a shock to the commentators.
David Luiz. What I will say about him and about his performance. That guy trained for 1 day previously to playing against that front three, probably the best front three in the league by quite a long distance, and one of the top 5 or 6 in the world. He trained for 1 day, and he was able to put on that performance. Imagine what he'd done if he had played for. If he trained for like a couple of weeks.
No, he's a fighter. He really is.
And that was a really good penalty as well. David Luiz, Cedric, Nelson. Who was the other one? I know Aubameyang took the last one. Who took the other one? Was it Maitland-Niles? Was it Maitland-Niles?
Yeah. They call him the cool one because he literally just walked up and just went like.
Yeah, that's it. Because they gave him man of the match, didn't they, just beforehand? And they were like, I really hope he scores now. Doesn't give it the commentator's curse. That was cool as you like. That was a great penalty. Really good. And then when it goes to penalties, obviously penalties is quite a nerve-wracking time. Whether it's a major competition or a charity shield game or, whatever it may be. And I had experiences of penalties on the day beforehand because Stevenage played as well. And they lost on penalties to Portsmouth after a 3-3 draw in the Carabao Cup. And I
remember you mentioning that.
I was kind of a little bit like, can we do what Stevenage couldn't and actually win on penalties this time? Penalties, worked for Arsenal. didn't work for Stevenage, but that's a story for another day and another podcast probably as well. But I think it was really good. All 5 penalties were really, really good. And again, you spoke about Aubameyang before. How good is it that Aubameyang puts his name down to take the last penalty, the crucial penalty, and then puts it away the way that he did?
It was beautiful. Like, you were just waiting. I remember you mentioning, like, is he not going to kick? Is he
that's
not
what I thought. Because you see, all of the players that are taking it are players you didn't expect. You didn't expect Nelson, you didn't expect Maitland-Niles or David Luiz or Cedric. And I'm like, where's Aubameyang? Is Aubameyang not going to take one? Are they going to give one to Joe Willock or to?
But that again shows the type of captain he is, that he would choose to go last and let them have their moment, because everyone's looking for him. Yeah,
absolutely. And even the some of the other guys that could have taken penalties as well. Just having a look here. There wasn't too many that actually could have taken penalties, because I know Eddie and Saka had both gone off, and Tierney had gone off at that point because he obviously got that. He was run to the ground, wasn't he? He was absolutely exhausted when he come off. And Bellerin had gone off, so Xhaka might have taken one, maybe. Who else was there that we even? Yeah, see, there's not an awful lot of other people that could have taken them. Whereas with Liverpool, it's pretty set that Mane is going to take one, Salah's going to take one, Fabinho is going to take one. A lot of the guys that took them are pretty set anyway to take them. And I do think that with us, it was a little bit hit and miss of, who could have taken them. But yeah, it was good to see Aubameyang step up and put the last one away and win the Shield. And he didn't drop it this time either, so that was good.
He had training, like some other guy was talking to him, and so was Kolasinac. He was like, pick it up and they'll go together.
And then at the end as well, on the coach, I always thought that was quite funny when I saw that. With the seatbelt, he's got the Shield strapped in with a seatbelt on the coach.
He made sure he didn't drop it. He was doing good.
Always use protect. What was it? Always make sure you're protected or something, or other, whatever he said. Put the seatbelt on.
Always make sure you're safe.
That's it. Yeah, and it's quite a good message, especially in the pandemic as well, that we're all going through at the moment. But no, I think this season for Arsenal, we're not going to win the league. We're still quite a long way behind that. But I'm positive about getting into that top 4 maybe even, because we're doing well at building the squad up, and we're getting a lot of these players tied down early, the new signings and that. If we can get Aubameyang sorted, if we can keep Maitland-Niles and Emi Martinez and have him competing with Leno, and have the likes of Pepe and Lacazette on form more often than not, Willian as well being interesting one to see how he does, Saka as well. There's a lot of positives in this side, and Tierney and the fact we're getting his defenders done, with Saliba and the other, who was it we just signed in? That Gabriel Magalhaes. I don't know how to say his second name, but yeah, getting those two done as well. It's looking quite strong in terms of the overall squad, I think, and competition for places. So no, I just think that we might surprise a few people this year.
I agree. I'm looking forward to see what Willian would bring to our team, because I don't know him. Like, I've never seen him play in Chelsea besides that one goal that I saw, which wasn't his goal. It was his assist to
lovely goal.
Martinelli, and
a lovely assist as well. I knew, as you said, he thought he was coming to the club then, so he was like, "Yeah, let me just give you the ball. There we go."
So I'm looking forward to see what he'll bring to the team, besides an afro, and
another one with funky hair.
Yeah, but, I'm looking forward to the season, because I feel like we're ready for it. We weren't ready last season, 100%. We're
and
ready
I think
for
this
it now.
This season is going to be so much better, because we've got a stable manager. Arteta's going to be in the job all year. There's no way he's going to leave until this season. He'll be there all the way through. He's got a longer transfer window as well. That's running through up until October, so he's got longer to get the players in that he wants. And he's doing the business already, getting in these guys early. And it's just quite a positive time, really, to be an Arsenal fan on the back of winning these two competitions as well, the Shield and the FA Cup. It's a positive time. It's a good time to be an Arsenal fan. And I think we're going to surprise a few people, as I said before.
We're going to surprise a lot of people because people think we're crap. So
we're not going to win the league. I'll tell you that. There's much better teams.
No, I don't think we're going to win the league.
Liverpool are stronger than us. Man City are stronger than us. Chelsea are strengthening really, really well as well. But I do think we could have a good chance of getting top four and competing with Spurs and Man United for that.
We have that fight.
Yeah,
we're ready for it. Look out for us because we're.
Yeah, I think we'll do well this season, and I think the fact we've got Europa League is another avenue into the Champions League as well. So that's another competition that I know Arteta's going to want to do well in, because he knows what the struggles have been like for this club the last few years, getting to the Europa League final and losing, getting knocked out last season early on. When we were actually expected to go through and go further in the competition. And I think that's Arteta just wants to win trophies, whether that's the FA Cup, the Community Shield, the Europa League. How good would it be if he won the FA Cup in his first half season, then won the Community Shield, then qualified for the top four and won the Europa League this coming season? That's a really good place to start.
That's amazing, and I think he can do it. I honestly really do think he can do it, because I've never seen players fight for their manager as I've seen with Arsenal. And I said it before before this upcoming match that just happened. I said that they're going to try to win it for Arteta because of the fact when he was a captain, he won it. Yeah, and they did that. That's why I said they had so much more to fight for.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, that's right. 14 FA Cups and 16 Community Shields isn't too bad, really, to be fair, is it? I'm sure Tottenham would be laughing if they had anything close to that. Hi to Solimain Barry as well. How you doing, mate? We've also got this comment from Russ, which I spoke to there as well. Solomon Barry, not Barry. Barry's his second name. BT Sport presenter Jake Humphrey has just tweeted that he has been told that Aubameyang's contract is done. I really hope it is. I really hope it's done. I'd love to get off here and see that it's a done deal. Definitely. So let's hope. And I know that his brother's coming to London the next day or two as well. So, he said he wasn't too sure why. He didn't really want to disclose as to why he was coming, but hopefully that's the reason why. So I think we're going to wrap it up there, to be honest. Thanks for being in and joining us today, babes. It's been great to talk to you as always.
Thanks for having me.
We've also got lots of great comments come through. So hi to Solomon Barry. Thanks for watching. Russ, Tim, Tom as well. And everyone that has watched this stream. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. We'll be back after the first league game, which of course is against Fulham in a couple of weeks' time on the 12th, I think, if I remember rightly, 12th of September. So, big thank you for watching, guys. And, we do these win, lose or draw. Yes, so far we've done them after a win every time. But hopefully we can keep that record going, because I'm quite enjoying doing them on the back of wins and feeling quite positive about this club at the moment. So it's always good when you got that sort of, behind you, and that the club are going places. So hopefully the podcast can go places as well. So thank you for joining in and being a part of this today, guys. And we're going to wrap it up there. So we'll catch up with you soon. Enjoy your bank holiday Monday, what's left of it as well, and the rest of your week. This has been the Worldwide Gooner Elite podcast. I've been your main host, Mike Heineman, joined by Giggsy as well. And we'll be back for the Fulham game in a couple of weeks' time. Cheers for watching. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other as well. And I'm off to get myself ready for another stream I'm doing later for another channel of mine. I say get myself ready. I've got a whole load of bits of paper down there already organised for that. But anyway, that's for in a few hours' time. Enjoy the rest of your bank holiday. Hopefully Aubameyang gets done soon. Hopefully we can get some of these new signings over the line. especially the Gabriel deal, and then we can really push forward and challenge for this top 4 and get some more trophies under the belt. And hopefully you'll watch us and not watch that stupid thing on Netflix about Tottenham, because nobody cares about that. All right, cheers guys, thanks for watching now, bye bye.